Oh my god. Into there it is. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mr. Santana. And today we're going to be going over tropisms or stimulus response in organisms. There's 4 types of tropisms we're going to be discussing. One is hydrotropism, geotropism, phototropism, and then thigmotropism. There's no better time than the present, so let's get into it. All right, so if you're taking notes virtually, either through like a PowerPoint or Google Slides, go ahead and pull that up, and then, or if you're just actually taking one on a notebook, you can do that too. The first definition we're talking about is phototropism. Again, we're talking about stimulus and response. That's what the last lesson was about. And in this session, we're talking about stimulus and response, basically within a plant or plant's reactions to things. Phototropism. The word photo means light, and tropism means to turn to. So in this instance, we have the light coming in. The light is a stimulus. And what is the plant's response? Is to grow towards the light, or they turn their leaves towards the light. Let me see if I can move this. Whoop. All right. Here you have the plants kind of going towards the light, guys. And again, so this is a plant's reaction to light. Stimulus response, phototropism. All right. Next one is geotropism. Geotropism is interesting because it has 2 reactions. We have positive uh, reaction and a negative reaction, and we'll go over what geo means earth. And this is plants reaction to gravity. All right. Um, so how do you plant a seed and make sure that you're planting it in the correct way, that you're not planting the plant upside down? Well, I mean, there is an up and a down to the plant. However, the plant will correct itself. So what this means is that for geotropism, the stem will always grow up. All right, so it's negative geotropism. It grows against gravity. All right, so gravity is the stimulus, but the response is to go against gravity, and that's what the stem does. All right, the roots have positive response, where they grow towards the ground. All right, so what you need to know for this is geotropism is a plant's response to gravity. It has positive response to gravity when it goes to the roots. It has negative response to gravity when the stem is going up against it. All right. And there, this image kind of shows it. I'll keep throwing myself around. Here, the roots grow down, the plants grow up, always, 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 no matter what. And that has to do with something within the cell that kind of tells it which way to go. The next one is hydrotropism. The word hydro means water. Tropism means to turn to, and then in this instance, this is a plant's response to water. And really, we're talking about the roots, right? The roots are always going to grow towards the water source. If there's one nearby, let's say this was a pond and this was a tree, the roots would grow over here. But let's say there was no pond there, and then which way do the roots grow? That's right. They grow down. And that's because if you go far down enough, there's going to be more water. And even if the water's really, really deep, whenever it rains, all that water kind of goes down, 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 down. And having deeper roots means you can grab more water, even though the top layer of ground is dry, the bottom might be a little bit more wet. So hydrotropism is a plant's response to water. Oh, well. Yeah, same thing. Whoop, whoop. All right, next one. Thigmotropism. Thigmotropism is going to be, I always remember the T, is going to be the plant's response to touch. All right? This is a plant's response to touch. So for thigmotropism, write down plant's response to touch. There's the most common examples you're going to see for this are two. One is this guy right here, the Venus flytrap. You guys, if you ever go to like the flea markets, Las Pulgas, right? There's always like one plant person, and they always sell these for like a couple of dollars, right? And when you see them on TV, you think, man, there are these huge things on Mario Brothers. They eat like Mario Brother, right? These are actually like the size of your finger, like the tip of your finger, not your whole finger. And so they're really, really small. But what the way they work is whenever a bug lands on them, the plant won't close right away until the bugs touch them a couple of times, and then it snaps shut, and then it basically will throw out some acids that decompose the bug, and then it just sucks on the juices from like the acid and the bug. So thigmotropism is basically how the plant responds to that touch. So the fly trap is responding to the touch of the bug, and it closes. That's one example. The other most common example is going to be when vines, right? So if you've ever gone anywhere with vines, the weeds, especially, they grow on the ground until they reach like a building or a pipe or something, and then these tendrils will start wrapping around it, and it'll start to climb up the tree. Even if you go to like other trees, you'll have like vines growing on those trees. Remember George of the Jungle or Tarzan? He swings on those vines. Well, that is true. Those vines grow on other trees. They grow on anything. They'll grow along the ground until they catch something, and then they'll start climbing up it. All right. And so basically, the vines are going until it touches something, and then it starts to climb up, and so that is how it's responding to touch. All right. So that's basically it for thigmotropism. All right, guys, here we have the Venus flytrap, kind of showing you touch, and then here we have the vines. Remember those two, because those are probably the most. If you get tested on, I get a test question on this. Those are the two that are most likely to be asked about is for thigmotropism. You can pause the video, see if you can answer these really quickly. Um, Once you have them done, unpause the video, and I'll go over them. All right, the stem growing up. What is that? That should be geotropism. Is it positive or negative? It is negative because it's going against gravity. Roots growing down. Again, geotropism. And is it positive or negative? It is positive because the roots are going towards gravity. Plants grow towards the light. That is going to be phototropism. Is it positive or negative? It's going towards it, so that's going to be positive. Roots grow away from the lights. So same thing. That is actually going to be, I guess, it would be phototropism, but it's going away, so it'd be negative because the stimulus is light, and is going away, so it's negative. Vines growing around the pole is going to be thigmotropism, and it is going to be positive. Oh, okay. It's not on there, but we'll go over one more thing real quick. So we're talking about stimulus and response, guys. Let's see if I can get some. Cool. We're talking about stimulus and response, and we've been talking about really external stimulus right here, right? How a plant reacts to outside forces. But there is actually a way to do this. Oh, there it is. Cool. There is a way in which plants react internally. Remember last time I told you for internal stimulus, the most common examples is being sick, having a fever, or being hungry or thirsty. And so those are going to be internal. But plants also have an internal, oh my God, my handwriting, internal stimulus. And that's going to be called something called turgor pressure. And this one is internal. And what it is, it basically is how much water is inside the plant. When the plant has high turgor pressure, we'll do a little flower. It looks like this. There's the middle part, and then there's 1, 2, 3, only 4 leaves. And that's what it looks like when it has high trigger pressure. It looks straight up like you normally picture a plant. That's because all the cells are filled with water, and it's easy to sack up stuff when they're filled with water. And so that's internal pressure, turgor pressure. And then we have low turgor pressure. That's going to be this guy right here. Flower, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. All right. So let's say after your dad buys your mom some flowers, and after a couple of days they start to look all wimpy. All right, that's low turgor pressure. And what's happening there is there's not enough water inside the cells for them to be solid, and so they're kind of just like falling all over each other, and so that creates the low turgor pressure. What do you need to do to go from low turgor pressure to high turgor pressure? You just need to add some water. Let's see if I can do that. You add some water. All right, so there. So to go from low to high, you add more water because that's going to increase the volume inside the plant cells, and they will basically go from this to this. All right, guys. So with that's basically it, guys. We went through external stimulus in plants, which were the tropisms, and now we just went over internal stimulus in plants, which is turgor pressure, and basically that's it, guys. All right. Have a good day.